One of the worst and most embarrassing things that can happen to you on a badminton court is going the wrong way. So in this video, we're going to give you 6 tips to avoid going the wrong way, including one that will guarantee that you never get deceived again.
We have a quick quiz for you to start. If we pause the video here, what shot do you think Jenny is about to play? Look at her body position, swing speed, racket angle, and where she's contacting the shuttle. Okay, now let's play it. If you guessed a straight drop, well done. Quiz question number 2, and we'll give you 2 pauses here. See how early you can guess what shot Jenny is about to play. So at first, it looked like she was going to play a straight drop, but then as she accelerated, you could see her racket head change to face cross court. And this is how you start to avoid deception. Read your opponent's body and racket positioning. Better players will start reading the shot at point A and not point B.
Now, it's important to mention early on, it's okay if someone catches you once. It happens to everyone, but you need to quickly learn from it. Ask yourself, when did they speed up their racket? What position were they in? Because if you notice these patterns, you're less likely to get caught again. And if you've seen that your opponent can do deceptive shots, you'll also need to use our next tip, to not move too early.
Anticipating shots is great, but if you move too early against someone who's deceptive, it could get you in trouble. Instead, time your split step so that you land just after your opponent strikes the shuttle, and you can then explosively push off to wherever they've hit it. This is something Olympic champion Huang Yaochong did very well when we played against her in training. Here, I'm about to try my favourite shot, the scrambled Greg. But you can see Yaochong is watching me carefully and does her split step just after I strike the shuttle, and not as I'm showing the first shot like most people do. Her not moving to the straight net shot too early meant that she didn't get scrambled.
Or, in our example from the quiz, me and Greg are playing singles against each other, and Greg moves too early because he's anticipating the straight drop shot. Whereas, if he knows that I have a deceptive reverse slice, he needs to wait with his feet side by side and shouldn't move too early.
And notice how Jenny mentioned about me waiting with my feet side by side. If you're unsure where the shuttle is going, or you're in a defensive position, it's usually safer to do more of a side-by-side split step rather than a directional split step. A directional split step is useful when you have a good idea of where the shuttle is going, but when a deceptive player has time and they're in a good position, it's better to hold your position.
And if you're not 100% sure about the directional split step or the side-by-side split step, these are just 2 of the lessons we cover in the Footwork Accelerator. This is our complete step-by-step system for mastering badminton footwork, with more than 40 video lessons taking you from the basics all the way to advanced movements to help you move faster and more efficiently around the court. So click the top link in the description below if you want to check it out.
Now, as well as not moving too early, the 3rd tip is to never completely stop in your movement. As S Club would say, don't stop moving. How have we got S Club 7 into a badminton video?
But how is never stopping and staying light on your feet going to help you not get caught by deception? Well, there are 3 main reasons.
One is that you're never moving from a stationary position. What we mean by this is that if you stop and plant both feet, you're now reacting from a completely stationary position, and your first step is a lot slower. Keeping moving means that you're ready to push off and you can do an explosive split step. Remember, it's easier to turn a moving ship than a stationary one.
The second reason is that your body weight stays more neutral. And this is going to help you not get into as many tricky situations. Because if your body weight is too far in one direction like this, then it's much harder to change direction. Instead, if you stay light on your feet, with your body weight slightly leaning forwards, you'll be able to change your entire course of direction a lot faster.
And third is that staying light on your feet helps keep you mentally switched on. We've often found this ourselves in matches. When our feet stop moving, our brain and focus stops too.
Now what happens when you try to do the 3 previous tips and your opponent still deceives you, because unfortunately it might still happen. This is where you need a correctional split step. In the simplest form, a correctional split step helps you quickly adjust your feet when the shuttle goes somewhere different to where you expected. For example, if you're anticipating a shot to your forehand rear court in singles or doubles, you would do a directional split step with your non-racket leg further forwards. But then they do a deceptive lift to your backhand corner, and you now need to do a correctional split step. Here, you bring your racket leg further forwards and your non-racket leg back to push off into this corner. This is the correctional split step, and it's the key to be able to make adjustments.
One fun drill to practice your correctional split steps is to get something to cover a section of the net, like a couple of bin bags, and then you have to hit everything back to this area. Because you can't see their body or racket, you'll have to make lots of fast adjustments and practice using the correctional split step. And to do this well, you'll need to remember the 3 previous tips and also use tip 5 to make your footwork automatic.
The more automatic your footwork becomes, the more mental space you have to focus on other things. Think of it like cooking a new meal. The first time, you're fully focusing on the recipe and carefully checking every ingredient. But after you've cooked it 100 times, you can now do it whilst chatting or watching TV. And footwork is the same.
When your basic movement patterns are automatic, it becomes much easier to focus on other things, like judging your opponent's body and racket positioning, or thinking about your tactics. But how can you make your footwork automatic so that you actually remember how to do it in a match?
Well, it takes a lot of practice to get it to a stage where you can do it without thinking about it. But it is so important, because if you're thinking which foot goes where in a match, you're gonna be slow. And because it's so important, we have an entire section on how to practice your footwork inside the Footwork Accelerator, with a 4-step framework called the Flow Method, which takes you through exactly how to practice and perfect your footwork. Again, we'll include a link in the description below.
Now, our 6th tip is arguably the most important one in this video. You need to be able to prevent them from playing deceptive shots in the first place. We've got 2 different ways for you to do this. The first is to speed up the game and play a flatter, more aggressive style. This is because almost all deceptive shots require time, but if you don't give your opponent that time, it becomes almost impossible to use deceptive shots.
Yeah, look at how much opportunity Greg has to use deceptive shots now, compared to when I'm playing flatter and more aggressive.
And the second way is to play better quality shots earlier in the rally. Again, deception is much easier when your opponent is on balance, early to the shuttle and has lots of options. But if you play a tight net shot, a good length lift, or a shot that puts them under pressure, then suddenly they won't have as many options. They might still try to be deceptive, but it's going to be much harder. So instead of only thinking, how do I react to deception, also ask, why did they have enough time to deceive me in the first place?
So, to prevent deception in badminton, remember, read your opponent's body and racket position. Don't move too early. Don't stop moving. Use a correctional split step when you get caught. Make your footwork automatic so that you can react faster. And most importantly, play different or better shots beforehand so that your opponent has fewer chances to deceive you. And don't worry if you still get caught occasionally. Even the best players in the world sometimes get sent the wrong way.
Lastly, don't forget to check out the Footwork Accelerator if you want to further improve your footwork. And of course, make sure you smash the subscribe button if you haven't already.